All right, welcome to the People's Fantasy Football Podcast. I'm Doug By, here tonight with Mike Rossi and Andrew Garganese. We're minus G Money tonight.
Thank the Lord.
So there's no beef tonight.
I'm sad. He was on a roll with those. There was a couple that were iffy in the beginning, but I think he's been killing it lately. I was looking forward to that.
He has been.
Yeah, conspiracy theories and all kinds of shit coming out. I'm gonna kind of miss it. We asked him to pre-record it, but just couldn't get it done.
No.
I wonder what he's doing.
There was no excuse.
Yeah. There was no conversation at all. It was actually mid us talking. He just like, guards can't make it tomorrow. I'm like, all right, thanks, Joe.
It was very sporadic, just out of nowhere. All right. So tonight's show, we got rapid fire, we got Mike's padlock, we got that new game pick 6, we're calling it, because we switched it up a little bit, but Mike will explain that. We got our DK lineups that we're going to be doing, and we got a new segment for Andy. Andy's doing a new segment.
Look at that. He's got one.
Exciting.
He's got one.
He agreed to one.
We're calling that one Andy's Mount Rushmore.
You'll never guess what it could be about.
Yeah, exactly. But it's about everything, right? It's not just fantasy related. We're going all over the place with that one. So I like that.
Yeah.
All right, boys. Let's get started with a little rapid fire, huh?
Do it.
You guys ready?
I don't think I've done one under a minute. I think this is my third or maybe fourth one. I don't think I've come in under a minute yet. So
we've only
tonight's
done
the night.
one. Yeah, I think we've only gotten under a minute like once. So
yeah, this is gonna be flawless. I feel it in my loins.
Yeah, I messed up the other one. So I wrote stuff down better this time, I believe. So I read it right off the paper, and then when I write it down wrong, my brain malfunctions. So I think I got it right this time. All right, let's start. Question number 1. Buy or sell Philly finishes as number 1 seed in the NFC.
Bye.
Taysom Hill versus Carolina or Isaiah Likely versus LA Rams?
Likely.
Over under 125 yards for Tyreek Hill versus Tennessee.
Over.
Buy, sell. Mostert is still number 1 back in Miami.
Sell.
Derrick Henry at Miami or DeAndre Swift at Dallas?
Swift.
Brandon Cooks versus Philly or Cooper Kupp at Baltimore?
Cooper Kupp.
Over under 2 touchdowns for Mahomes versus Buffalo?
Over.
Jared Goff at Chicago or CJ Stroud at New York Jets?
Goff.
Over under 9 catches for Jamar Chase versus Indy?
Under.
Buy or sell, this is a must win for Buffalo at KC.
Bye.
Yeah.
Guys, did we just go 10 for 10 with agreements there, Andy?
No, I think you took Kupp, I took Cooks. You took Swift, I took whoever he was going up against. I can't even remember.
Derrick Henry, that's who it was.
It was Derrick Henry, yeah.
Which I'm not confident at all. Isn't he hurt? Did he get a little
That's the only reason why I picked Swift is because Derrick Henry might be not even play, but they said
he is.
Concussion, didn't they?
It wasn't a concussion. That already came out that it wasn't. Yeah, but I don't know what it was. It might have been a head injury, but they said he's already passed concussion protocol. So
yeah, it should be. Derrick Henry was like, I'm not concussed. I'm like, all right.
Yeah, all right already. Yeah.
While he was holding himself up on like the fucking rings and all types of crazy fucking workouts he does.
He's a beast. He's 6'3", man. Like he shouldn't be able to run the way he runs at 6'3".
It's just that once a knee out,
you can't once he gets going. There's just once he's at full speed, there's no stopping him, and he runs fast. It's unreal what he can do.
Dude, it's like Eddie George, not because they play for the same franchise, but you figure somebody would have fucking smoked one of his knees at this point, and he wouldn't. But dude, he's got to be amongst the oldest starting running backs in the league.
He's 29, maybe pushing 30. Yeah,
Mostert.
Yeah. Mostert. Yeah, they were saying right like that one stat where Mostert's like 3 years older than Todd Gurley. It's insane.
And isn't he? What did Joe say that he's the same age as Le'Veon Bell too?
Same age as Le'Veon Bell.
Also absurd.
Yep, it is. All right, good job, boys. I think we were right around a minute. I'll be close.
I think that was pretty flawless.
That was a good one. All right. Next up, we got Mike's padlock of the week, which is not usually very flawless, but we'll see how he does this time.
What are the rules?
Yeah,
of
last
days? Is it a
I
touchdown?
just make
What is
things
it?
up.
Yeah.
No.
No, it's just I just make up something that's going to happen this week. And last week it was that Kenny Pickett was going to be a QB1. In my defense, he got hurt. So I mean, there's nothing you can really do. I'm going to take that as my out because he didn't look that great before he got hurt. But
I was going to say, was he well
on
on his way before that injury?
No, he was not. But were the 49ers well on their way to put up 42 points after one quarter? No.
True.
So you never know. All right.
That's true.
All right. My padlock of the week. I think me and Andy both just picked him in the rapid fire, but it's that Isaiah Likely is going to lead Baltimore in receptions this week. They're going against the Rams, who are the third worst team against tight ends. But not only are they bad against tight ends, they're really good against wide receivers. They're 23rd, the 23rd worst matchup against wide receivers. So it could be a week where, I mean, Lamar already loves checking it down to his tight ends. They're coming off a bye. Harbour, I think he's going to come out of the bye and get Isaiah Likely more involved. And that's Lamar's first look. I mean, he proved it with Mark Andrews. He loves throwing to the tight end. So I get to see this being Isaiah Likely's week. That's why I picked him in my rapid fire. And I have a feeling we're going to be talking about him later in the episode as well.
Yeah, it's the Isaiah Likely show is what we're calling this one. That's the way I'm going to put it in YouTube. So it's a show about him. And the reason I put him in rapid fire is because I tend to agree with you. I think he's going to have a good week this week. So I don't know if he's going to lead in receptions, but that's a bold statement.
Bold.
Guys, I got a question for both of you.
Okay.
It's a matchup question that I have. Would you start Isaiah Likely in a half PPR or Dallas Goedert coming back from the broken forearm?
Likely. Yeah, I would do Likely.
I might go Goddard.
Yeah, take the chance on Goddard.
Wow, yeah,
Just being who he was.
the corners match up well on the outside and fucking maybe not great against Devonta Smith and AJ Brown, but I think the weak spot of that Dallas defense is over the middle.
In the middle, yeah.
Where Goddard would
true.
be.
Could be.
I'm debating. It's a tough one. I think it's a toss up. You can go either way, but obviously
the rapid fire. I took Taysom Hill, but I'm fully on board with the Isaiah Likely thing.
Especially Taysom Hill. If Jameis Winston is starting, they went a lot of Wildcat this week, and he gets the rushing. I mean, that guy, he's almost Derrick Henry-esque when he gets the ball. He just puts his shoulder down and goes.
He is. Yeah, we always talk about it. He's a violent runner. Maybe not as violent as Pacheco, but he's violent.
Pacheco just, I don't know. He just runs weird.
He's the weirdest running back.
Yeah, the ground did something to him when he was a kid. He just always trying to punish it.
Very angry with that ground. All right. Let's transition here into our pick six game. And Mike, why don't you described it well last week. You ready to describe it again this week, but kind of talk about how we added another one so that we could call it a cool name called pick six instead of pick five?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if last week I described it too perfect for what I think I can do again this week. I don't even know how that got that perfect because but anyway, so it's the same exact thing as last week. So if you listen to last week's episode, you'll get it. The only difference is that you're picking 6 instead of 5 this week. So there's 7 different matchups. You're going to pick 6 out of the 7. Depending on your confidence for each one, you're going to put a point total next to each one. 6 being your most confident answer, 1 being your least confident answer, and then so on for 2, 3, 4, 5. Whatever one you get right, you get that amount of points, and the most points wins.
Simple enough. You did it again, I think.
Yay, I'm getting good at this.
I listened to it like halfway. I don't know.
Yeah.
So.
All right, while you read off the 7 choices, you have a punishment.
You have a punishment
to
do, right?
So we had just so everybody knows that you can win Mike's money on this. That's kind of the gist of it, right? I'm giving away money for viewership. just bribing people to watch our podcast. The thing is that if you come in first place, then you win a prize. The last week it was $10. The winner of the prize forfeited his $10 in order for me to do a punishment instead. So I'm going to double up this week and make it a $20 prize. While you read off the 7, I'm going to go put on my punishment, and I'll be right back.
All right. So the 7 questions this week are as follows: Russell Wilson at LA Chargers or Minshew at Cincinnati? That's question 1. 2, Brees Hall versus Houston or Swift at Cowboys. We got Drake London versus Tampa Bay or Jaden Reed at New York Giants. David Njoku versus Jacksonville or Isaiah Likely versus LA Rams. Detroit at Chicago or Green Bay defense at New York Giants. We got Dameon Pierce at New York Jets or Jerome Ford at versus Jacksonville. We got Chris Godwin at Atlanta or Zay Jones at Cleveland. That looks great, man. I mean, we're not going to see that
green undershirt. Yeah,
we're not going to see that jersey on the field ever again.
No, I don't think so. Yeah. I think I'd rather, because this is more of a joke jersey, than if you would have brought me a Brady jersey, I'd feel like more dirty wearing that than I do wearing a Mac Jones jersey.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I mean, the Brady beat the Eagles in the Super Bowl. You know, like I don't want to wear that jersey. Granted, we beat him too.
I was just gonna say, yeah, get over it. You know, that was a long time ago too. It was like 2004. All right. So I read them off. We're gonna go by numbers, right? So I'm gonna ask what your 1-point answer was, and we'll go as follows, all the way up to 6 points. All right. That's how we're gonna do it this week. All right. So
yeah, we didn't discuss that with Andy.
Yeah, we didn't. Andy's just now hearing this. So.
Just scrolling. Don't worry. All right, we're good.
All right. So your 1 point, Mike, who was it?
My 1 point, I got Gardner Minshew at Cincinnati over Russell Wilson at Los Angeles. LA's D's been playing good lately, and I think they're going to continue it this week. And I'm just going to roll the dice that this is the week that Gardner gets some Minshew magic out there.
All right, Andy, who was your 1?
My 1 is I took Isaiah Likely versus the Rams over David Njoku versus Jacksonville. The Rams don't defend the tight end well. Jacksonville's pretty good at it, actually. And we already talked about Isaiah Likely. He might not, have enough talent to take over for Mark Andrews, but very few do. He's still incredibly talented, still very young, very raw. And one touch is all it takes for somebody with that kind of athleticism to kind of get you a bunch of points. So that was my 1 point.
Agreed. My 1 point was also Minshew. I went with him over Russell Wilson. And again, I agree that the Chargers defense, they've been looking really good lately. I mean, last week was easy to look good against the Patriots, but they've been a solid D. Actually, that hasn't been their problem. It's surprisingly been their offense that hasn't been great for the Chargers. So, yeah, I'm looking for a little Minshew magic as well. All right, what was your number 2 point for, Mike?
My number 2 is Zay Jones at Cleveland over Chris Godwin at Atlanta. Zay Jones is a possession type of receiver. Without Christian Kirk out, I think CJ Beathard is going to get the start this week. I mean, I don't think Trevor Lawrence is saying he might play, but I don't think there's a chance he plays. And CJ Beathard and Zay Jones have had a lot of practice together, and a possession receiver, I could see him going off.
Okay. Interesting.
Going off is a bit too much, but having a good game.
That's a lot for Zay Jones to go off.
Yeah, I'm going to renege the going off comment and say he could have a good game.
All right, Andy, what'd you go with for your number 2?
I took Brees Hall versus Houston over DeAndre Swift at Dallas. Like I just said with Isaiah Likely, Brees Hall he's one touch away from breaking a game. I know their offense is terrible, but anywhere at any time he can score. And as sad as this is to say, Zach Wilson is back as a starter, which is an upgrade for him. And he's always got the reception thing. So give me Brees over Swift. 2 points.
Did you guys see, and I don't know if it's got confirmed at all. I know the coach squashed it, but did you guys see that Zach Wilson, he was asked to be a starter and they said he was like, no, I don't want to be the starter. I don't want to do it
Yeah.
again.
Yeah.
It's having
Yeah.
flashbacks. Don't put me in there.
Yeah, don't put me in, coach. Can't do it.
Yeah, I mean, there's gotta. I mean, obviously, if that got leaked, there's some truth behind it. You must have. There's no way that just got made up out of nowhere. But
Probably a little smoke. Yeah.
yeah, this is his last chance. Like he has. I don't care how bad of an offense it is. If he comes out and if he didn't start, he's lost his role as a starter for the life of his career. You know, but now he has 5 games to come out and maybe show something. You got to take that risk, even if it's a 1% chance.
Yeah, that's the thing with Zach Wilson is a lot of his talent is his abilities for being like quick. He's got a big arm, all that stuff. That's youth talent. Whereas like a guy like Mac Jones, he actually might stick around the league for a while as a backup, you know, because he doesn't have any talent. So his talent was supposedly in his head, but
yeah.
So anyways, that was just my way of ragging on Mac Jones again. Okay. I also went Brees Hall for my number 2. And I agree with Andy that he can just break one whenever. But also, if they don't know what the hell they're doing with quarterback there. You know, Brees Hall is a talent. Just run the ball. Just freaking run it as much as you can with him. And Swift, he hasn't been looking great either as well lately. So I know Brees Hall hasn't been looking hot, but neither is Swift. And like I was saying earlier, Mike, whenever they are close at the goal line, it's not his time to run. That's Hurt's time to run. So he vultures a lot of those touchdowns away from Swift. All right, let's get to the number 3. And Mike, who'd you have?
3. I actually went the other way on the ones that you just said. I have Swift over Brees Hall. And my reasoning is that before last week, Swift has had 15 plus touches in every single game since week 1. And you said he hasn't looked good lately. That was literally just last week. He 5.7 the week before a carry and 6.3 the week before that. So I'm going to say last week was just a one-off and say he comes back and has better days to come.
Yeah, I don't know if it's like that. He just hasn't been looking good for fantasy purposes. He hasn't been putting up a lot of points, right? I'm not saying
I have it.
Because he's a talent,
last week
obviously.
He definitely had 3 points. The week before that was 8.9, but then it was 18.2 before that. So yeah, the last 2 games he hasn't really performed fantasy wise.
All right, Andy, who was your 3?
Good question. It was I took Russell Wilson at the Chargers over Gardner at Cincy. I don't really know why I took him for 3 points, but I think the Chargers D, everybody's like kind of, hey, you know, they're looking better. The Patriots are fucking abysmal, and I think that's a throwaway game for any statistical purposes. Russell Wilson's going to make some dumb passes, but he's going to get you 40 yards running. You might sneak in a rushing touchdown. So I took him for 3.
All right. I went Isaiah Likely because I think this is the last time we're going to say his name in this episode. No? Oh, we got one more. We got one more time.
Maybe.
We'll see. I also went with him because of the fact that that's what Lamar Jackson likes. He likes his tight ends. And last year he showed that he could be a solid replacement to Mark Andrews. He hasn't showed it yet this year, but with a bye week that they just are coming off of, maybe they throw him in the package just a little bit more. I don't trust Flacco in that Browns offense is really what it comes down to too. All right, Mike, who's your number 4?
My number 4, I got a little risky here. I went Drake London over Jaden Reed. I could see the Falcons Bucks game just turning into one of those ugly, random, high scoring games. I don't know why I just can see that happening, even though it's going to be ugly. I think it could have some offense involved. Where Green Bay versus the Giants, I see that more as a defensive type of matchup. So I'm going Drake London to have a better game.
You just won't quit those Falcons, will you?
Yeah, for real.
No, I mean, neither of those defenses are great, you know? Like
the Falcons D is on some kind of fucking streak right now, dude. They're killing it.
Yeah, I don't know. Against the run they are, but not too much against the pass.
All right, Andy, who's your 4?
I think so.
I took Jerome Ford at home versus Jacksonville over Damian Pierce at the Jets. I know that these are both kind of 50-50 backfields. Hunt out carry Jerome Ford. Damian Pierce looks to have gotten the starting job back over Singletary, blah, blah, blah. But the bottom line is the Jets defense is still very, very good. And they still try hard like they have a shot, even though they don't. And Jacksonville's they're not starting Trevor Lawrence this week, probably. So that game could be a little slower, a little bit more run heavy. I figured Jerome Ford's gonna get a bunch of carries.
All right. I like that. My number 4, I went with Jaden Reed, actually. I went the other way from you, Mike. And the reason for that is that kid's a talent right there. And also Christian Watson is supposedly out maybe 1 to 2 weeks. So I think they're going to be going his way much more. And Drake London, man, I have him on one of my fantasy teams, and he just doesn't play football, I don't think, really too much. doesn't look like it on my scoreboard, at least.
No,
so,
he gets some good cardio in.
Yeah.
He almost had a sick catch last game.
Yeah, a lot of almost with him and Ritter. I mean, Ritter is just god awful. So
Ritter and Arthur Smith is just Drake London's got to be fucking crying himself to sleep.
Yeah, agreed. All right, so that's why I'm going Jaden Reed, because they love to do those gimmicky plays with him too. I think he's kind of like a poor man's Tyreek Hill, maybe in a way. And with Christian Watson out, I like it. All right, who's your 5, Mike?
My 5 is Green Bay's defense versus the Giants over Detroit's against the Bears. Like I said, I think it could be a defensive matchup. Even though the Giants are coming off the bye and Tommy DeVito didn't look terrible last game, there's going to be mistakes that happen.
Yeah, I agree with that. I like that. Andy, who'd you go with for your 5?
Yeah, I mean, Giants offense is fucking terrible. I took Green Bay for 5. Even if they play bad, they still stink. And I don't know, Green Bay looked decent. So
you're not loving no love for Tommy DeVito, huh?
No, I love fucking Paisan, but it's not gonna look good.
No. All right, my 5. I went Jerome Ford versus Jacksonville over Damian Pierce at New York Jets. Similar to you, Andy. I mean, that main reason is that Jets defense is just so freaking good. Like you said, they just keep playing hard, even though it doesn't matter. But also Jerome Ford's another one of those guys where he doesn't need a ton of carries. He just needs that one that can take it to the house. Whereas Damian Pierce is not that guy. Yeah, I think he needs a bulk load of carries and he needs a touchdown. If he doesn't get you a touchdown, he's going to have a really, really low scoring week for you. So that's why I went Jerome Ford for the 5. All right. 4 and the last one, right? This is a pick 6 show now. So
that's right.
Game here. So who's your 6, Mike?
My 6 is I got Isaiah Likely, and he said it was the last time you were wrong.
I was wrong.
Yeah, I got Likely over Njoku. Same reasons. Lamar likes throwing to tight ends. Everything we already said, but also Flacco targeted Elijah Moore and the wide receivers way more than he looked at Njoku's way. And I could just see that continuing to happen. I think that's a Flacco thing. He just wants to air it out rather than check it down.
Yeah, it's totally a Flacco thing. He loves to throw that deep ball because he loves pass interferences. There's so many of those that happen with him. All right. Who's your 6, Andy?
I took Chris Godwin on a bounce back game in the Dome in Atlanta over Zay Jones, CJ Beathard, and possible bad weather in Cleveland. I know he's battling that neck injury, but he's still Chris Godwin. He's still pretty nasty. I think he can get not a lot of points, but more than the 4 to 7 I anticipate for Zay Jones. So
you don't think he's gonna have a monster game like Mike said earlier?
No monsters.
Hey, we're cutting that. We're cutting that. I said that.
Right.
All the editing that we do in these episodes,
Yeah, we do a ton of that.
A lot of editing.
We should do a lot of editing, but we don't. All right, my 6. I went with the Green Bay defense as well for the 6 because of how bad that Giants defense is, and I think that Chicago has those players on that team in Justin Fields and DJ Moore, where they they have the potential to put up points just out of nowhere. So I like that Green Bay defense. I think that team as a whole is really coming on, obviously, lately. They've been looking really good, and that defense has been looking really good. So I think they're going to squash that Giants team that really is playing for nothing anymore, and they're just playing for draft picks now.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's let's say the one that we left
I
out.
was just going to say,
real quick.
yeah. So the one that you just did for your 6, I circled Godwin as my guy that I would have gone with, but I didn't want to touch that one with Kirk being out. So that was the one I didn't do, was the Chris Godwin at Atlanta or Zay Jones at Cleveland. Mike,
Mine
which one?
was Damian Pierce versus Jerome Ford. I just couldn't. They're both in a 50-50, and I just couldn't pick who was going to be better between Pierce, Singletary, Hunt, and Ford. So I didn't want to choose between 2 of them. Never mind.
That's true. Hunt really hasn't been doing much, honestly.
He had 12 carries and led the team last week.
But he hasn't been doing much with those carries. What I'm saying, like, he's not getting the touchdowns. He's not getting as many catches as you think he would be getting. And Singletary, I don't think he had a great week last week, but those 2 weeks prior, he went over 100 yards both games, right? So I don't know if it's completely Damian Pierce's now. Anyways, I don't know. Andy, which one did you not go with?
I didn't touch Drake London and Jaden Reed. I think they're both very talented, and I don't ever actually really know what to expect. Like Drake London should get 10 targets a game, and Jaden Reed, who I think is a pretty good fucking football player, should probably get 10 targets with Watson out. So I don't know. I don't want to touch it.
All right, fair enough. All right, boys,
I should have said this.
Go ahead.
I should have said this in the beginning when I was explaining it, but the theme for this week's pick 6 was starters versus backups. So people that started the year as a starter and people that started the year as a backup.
Yeah, and I don't know about you guys, but I tend to see 4 out of the 6 that you could have picked from on that, I did backups.
Me too. Yeah, 5 out of 6.
1, 2.
Yeah, so that I think it was a good team. It was solid, but definitely the backups are looking better than the starters right now, and the guys you put up there, I think.
Yeah, which is interesting.
It is.
All right, I'm gonna go change back because it was just for that segment. I'll be right back.
He can't even have it on for the entire show, huh? Just for that segment.
He goes, I'll be right back. We still see his elbow flopping in and out.
Yeah.
Chubby little elbow popping in and out of the screen. Look,
hey, man, he's losing weight. He's lost a lot of weight since the cruise, I think. How much weight have you lost since the cruise, Mike?
Yeah, because he put on 20 on the cruise. That doesn't count. He's not losing weight.
That's true. He's just going back to where he was.
Positive on fucking weight.
Are you talking about how I gained 16 pounds on the cruise?
Yeah.
No.
How you doing getting back to that?
Bad fish.
I'm 4 pounds over the before cruise weight.
Okay. So still 4
So
pounds.
I've lost 12. Yeah, exactly. To get back to where I didn't want to be in the first place.
Yeah. Hey, that's all right. You're doing good, man. That's a lot. That's a lot already off. 12 off.
I mean, the thing is you got plenty of time before the wedding to cut.
Yeah.
I mean,
you got time.
Would you have like 6 months, something like that?
Yeah, pretty much. Exactly a month today, actually.
Exactly a month.
Exactly a month today.
We're all looking forward to it.
When'd you get size for your suit?
before the cruise. You know what's funny is I got size for the suit. I think it was like October, and then after the cruise, I went and got the kids size for the suit, and they're like, "Oh, do you want to just resize to make sure nothing changed?" I was like, "Absolutely not." I was like, right now is not a good time to get resized. That would have been like a size 44 waist or something like that.
Are you running after this episode?
Yes.
Running upstairs to get something out of the freezer.
Yeah. Running upstairs for an ice cream sandwich.
Yeah. Oh shit.
Oh man. All right. Let's go to our next segment, our new segment, which I'm looking forward to. And that's Andy's Mount Rushmore.
Yeah.
God, so I'm gonna sit back and enjoy this, and then hopefully we can have a friendly debate afterwards.
Sure. It's not, I don't know, it won't be debatable, but you guys can definitely get some opinions in.
Okay.
Because I found out about this about an hour ago.
Yeah.
Came up with something quick. But I figured for the original one, for the first one, for Mount Rushmore, I decided to do who are the 4 players you've owned the most shares of in your fantasy football life. So who are the guys that you drafted the most? I'll give you time to think about it. I'll give you my 4.
Okay.
In order, best guess. Number 1, Calvin Johnson. That's a little bit skewed because I had him in 2 keeper leagues for the majority of his career. Keenan Allen, obviously. If you've ever watched this show before, you know that Keenan is probably on that list. I get him every year. The only running back to make this list, coming in at number 3, Darren Sproles. I'm a big PPR guy, and I could always get him. There was like a 2-year stretch where you couldn't. He would go in like the third, fourth, but for the most part, you could always get him. 5, 6, 7, somewhere around there. Yeah. And then the last one, a little bit of a homer pick here. Robert Woods. Loved him at USC. I don't think he won the Biletnikoff, but I know he was a finalist. He went to the Bills and they had no quarterback, and I just could see the talent. It's like, this guy needs to change teams. I had him when he was on the Bills. He goes to the Rams. Took him. I had him for just years and years. I still draft him. But those are the 4 guys I think I've owned the most shares of in my fantasy life.
That's very interesting.
It is. I can't think of people that.
I got 2 off the top of my head real quick.
Me too.
They come to your head. Let's hear
it. So I was in a keeper, like I think like way back in the day, Mike, in your league that you were running, you made it like a 1 keeper league for a while.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if this counts, but I kept on keeping Arian Foster. That was my boy in that one for sure.
Yeah.
And
how could you go wrong there?
Yeah, exactly. And then even prior to that, I remember always going after Corey Dillon. That was another guy I always liked.
Okay.
I just thought of one when you said Arian Foster, but I mean, I think it's pretty obvious. CMC is on this list. I try drafting him every chance I get. Another guy, I think I tried getting him as my tight end every single year because it's Zach Ertz, and he was great for fantasy and on the Eagles. So I tried to get him as much as I could.
Yeah.
And then D-Hop. I've always wanted D-Hop. Even this year, I was huge on D-Hop. It's been picking up a little bit, but yeah, he's always somebody that I've drafted on my teams.
Yeah. When D-Hop came out, I wasn't that high on him. And then he had some success as a rookie. But I was like, when Andre Johnson comes back, like he's not going to be a true number 1. Was I wrong? That motherfucker was nasty for a very long time.
Yeah, I thought he was a 1-trick pony for a while. I thought he was just a Devontae Parker type of just like jump ball kind of player,
I don't think I've ever seen a more physical wide receiver. Like, Michael Irvin's known for pushing off, and Chris Carter was kind of scrappy, but like, dude, DeAndre Hopkins just muckles motherfuckers to the top of routes. It's wild.
Yeah.
He is so violent.
I might raise you like a Hines Ward or something like that.
Hines could block, but it
was different. It was different physical.
Corner.
Yeah. It was different physical. Yeah.
That crackback, the Hines Ward crackback, he was just fucking. I think he's the reason that rule exists.
Yeah.
Right? Like, he would just fucking kill people.
Probably. I say Dandy by accident instead of Andy, but if I could find Doug and Andy, Dandy.
I was just gonna say there's definitely.
But Andy, this is one of those things where it's gonna be like 7 a.m. next week, and I'm like, I used to draft this guy all the time too. Like, I'm just gonna randomly start thinking of people that should be on this list.
I agree with you. George Kittle's another guy I always target, and it's just because I like the dude.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
very likable. Very likable guy.
Great player, but Debo is a guy I wish I got more, but I haven't had a lot of his shares.
I've had a lot of Debo shares, but like this year when we were talking about it, I love Debo, but I wasn't going to take him in the 3rd round. You know what I mean? Like,
it's injuries with both those guys because they play so damn hard. Yeah.
I don't know. There's a lot of people like that, right? They eventually outgrow like that area where you could get them, and it's like I don't know.
Yeah. So
it's big risk.
We have a little bit of time here. I actually had a question for you 2 guys. An unbiased. I want it to be an unbiased answer from you 2 because I'll have a biased answer towards it. And so would Joe if Joe was here. And I'm stealing this from a talk show. actually. So they were debating it. In the last 50 years, as a fan, who would you rather be a fan of? The Pittsburgh Steelers or the New England Patriots?
You can't.
Who
This
would
is
you?
completely biased.
Well, for me and Joe, it would be. It's not for you two.
Yeah, but from me and Andy, we don't want to be fans of either one of those teams.
That's
Like,
why it's
neither
unbiased.
of those. I know, but neither of those. I'm thinking of it being like, oh man, that would have been fun. It's like, no, I'm an Eagles fan. That's it. But
that's what I'm saying. So they both have 6 titles, right?
I would say Steelers.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
because Patriots, you got it all in your
a 20-year
span. Yeah, you got it. Steelers, they've been consistent.
There's
and they
something to
won
that,
some in
too.
the 70s, they won some in the early 2000s, they won some in the the 2010 or whatever it was. So there's been different periods of time when they've been good, and they haven't had a losing record in how many seasons has Tomlin been there? 15 years or something like that.
Yeah, I think they've only actually had like, I don't know. They've only had a couple losing records in the last like 50 years. They haven't had a lot. I want to say actually in the last 30 years, them and the Patriots are the only 2 teams that haven't drafted in the top 5, something like that. They're like the only 2 teams, or it might have even been like top 8. But anyway,
does that count if Belichick trades down? Because that's probably happened.
Yeah, but his worst record before this year was 5-11. So I don't know where that would have been. Yeah, I just thought it was kind of an interesting little debate there. The Patriots have been to the Super Bowl 3 more times.
The answer is the Patriots. It just is. As much as I fucking hate them so much, that's the answer. You got the greatest run in probably North American sports history. Probably won't ever be touched again. You got a guy that's considered by the majority of people, not me, but the greatest football player of all time. You made 8 Super Bowls in that stretch. Was it 8?
9.
So
in that stretch.
In that stretch, right? He went
to
then I think he did 10 in
9
years.
Was it 9?
Brady won 6. He lost to the Giants twice and the Eagles.
Yeah, that's right.
That's 9.
And then he's been to 10 because of the Bucks. So he's what, 7 out of
no,
10?
he won. No, is the Patriots won 6? He won 7, right? Or did he win?
No, Patriots won 6. He won 7 because he won 1 with the Bucks.
Jesus Christ, that's insane.
Yep.
But I mean, and if you were our age, right? You literally got like the time in your life where you appreciate football the most and like really get into it, and you get to watch all of that. On the opposite side of it, you could be a Buffalo Bills fan living in New England, have the worst stretch of your life as a football fan, and you hang out with a bunch of fucking assholes.
And why?
Yeah.
Why did we decide when we were whatever? How old we ever were? Like 10 years old, and we decided to be Bills and Eagles fans. How easy of a life would have been to just be Patriots fans? We're like huge football fans.
Seriously,
you
guys
name,
just
name one Patriots fan you like.
Hey.
Can't do it. You can't do it. They all suck.
Honestly, though, like this isn't just because he's here. I think Doug might be the one. That's it.
I can't watch games with Wilson, but Wilson's like, not during the game and not for a few hours after the game, but like he'll eventually have like some reasonable thoughts on it, But they're few and far between.
Can we, Doug?
We got cocky.
Quick.
We definitely got cocky as a fan base, and we got weak as a fan base. I think we seriously. No, I'm serious. I think I talked about this a little bit more before. Whereas I think New England in general is weak as fan bases now. Whereas like pre the Red Sox winning in 2004, I mean we were fucking diehard. And pre the Patriots winning it, that was diehard as well. I don't know. There's something about winning that just makes you soft a little bit, I think.
Dude,
it's kind of like a child that gets handed everything. They're soft humans, That's just how it works out.
Yeah.
Soft football fans are the same way when they grow up just winning everything.
Mike's philosophy podcast is still coming, right?
Right. Yeah. That's going to be up next.
No, I'll tell you what though. I'll agree with you. The Bills haven't won anything, but
And
like
they're hard.
you like if you go to no, they're but like you can see the difference in the fan base. Like
That's what
and
I'm
like
saying.
just the last few years, like people just crying like fucking bitches all the time. Like, dude, there was a post in one of the Bills. I think it was a subreddit where it was like, dude, I really don't know if I want them to win out or lose out. Like, which one would you choose if that was an option?
The
Like, what the
Bills?
fuck are you talking about?
The
Yeah,
Bills
like,
said that?
should we just lose and try to get a pick, or should we win and like go to the playoffs?
No, you guys are still in win now mode right now.
Of course.
I mean, you're not telling me this.
Yeah.
I fucking know who we
Yeah.
are. That fucking asshole, though. I hate people like that. A fucking coward of a man.
I feel like that's not the majority in Buffalo, though. That's
But I don't
one.
like. You would have if they won fucking 7 games 6 years ago, dude. We would have been on top of them. We would have been fucking hammered,
Yeah.
drinking ketchup. Like, it's just a blast.
I forget if it
agree.
was. I forget if it was Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back or Clerks, but I think it was Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back when there was one like online user that wrote a bad comment and they just wouldn't give up finding this fucking guy because they hated him so much. And at the end of the movie, they went to his house and Jay just punched him in the face. That's gonna be Andy to that one guy that said something on Reddit.
I fucking hate him. Would you rather win out or lose out?
It's a problem. It's a troll. You can't find those trolls, though. They're just trolling on there. So
I think that's just a natural born loser. That's what I think that is.
Yeah. I would agree. All right. So that was split decision right there. I like it. So that is a good debate then. I think that's an interesting.
I think so.
They're very
The
similar.
answer is neither.
Yeah, the answer is
The real answer for you guys is neither.
I'd rather have 0 rings.
Yep. No, it's funny because like with Buffalo, I want to go up to a Buffalo game because I just want to see that rowdiness. I want to see that chaos. Even Philly, not as much. I don't want to get batteries thrown in my head. But
Yeah,
stabbed in the parking lot.
Yeah, exactly.
Spit on.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're wearing a Giants or Cowboys jersey in a Philly game, there's a 50-50 chance you're getting into a fight, right? Like that's a known fact.
Probably. Yeah. It's pretty wild.
Even if you're a child, there's a 50-50 chance you get into a fight.
Did you see the video of the little kid after the Philly Bills game?
Yeah.
He walked up to there's like an old dude wearing like literally like a guy probably our age. And it's like 9 or 10-year-old kid walked up to he's wearing a Josh Allen jersey. He walks up to shake his hand. The dude in the Josh Allen jersey turns around. The kid's like, fuck you.
Fuck you. And then just walks away. And his parents were condoning because they were just sitting there recording. Like they knew what was happening.
Yeah. They're cheering on. Fucking Eagles. I think you guys booed Santa again too, didn't you? I think that happened again recently.
Did we? I don't know. Yeah. I mean, when they won the Super Bowl, there was videos of that
typical
one
Philly
dude that was
fan,
eating horse shit.
There was what? I'm sorry.
No, I think there was a video of the one dude that was eating horse shit after they won the Super Bowl. Like, how is that a celebration?
I'm so happy.
I'm so happy. I want to destroy my body right now.
Exactly.
All right. We got way off topic, but it was good. Good discussions. All right, let's do our DK lineup. How about
shit? There's more.
we still have.
There's more.
Yeah, let's blow through this. Let's breeze through this one. So Mike, quarterback. Who's your quarterback?
I got Lamar. He was 7,700 going against the Rams, coming off the bye. I could just see him having a big week.
All right, Andy, quarterback.
I took Justin Fields at home versus Detroit, 6,800.
Okay. I went Patrick Mahomes. Sorry, Andy, for 7,900. I just think eventually he's going to look like Patrick Mahomes again, and this could be a high-scoring game and could be a fun game to watch. I hope. Mike, who'd you go for running backs?
Well, I got my 2-man crushes. I got CMC for 9,200. Again, I think it's going to be a big CMC week, and then I got Bijan. He's still 6,500, so I'll take him in the 6,000s every single time.
So he's going to have those two guys in his lineup every single week.
Yeah,
as long as CMC is under 10,000. Yeah,
just go straight from quarterback to wide receiver.
Yeah, we won't have to ask him.
Just give us the values, Mike, and move on.
Yeah.
Anyway,
right,
so
sounds good.
My running backs. I got Eckler at home versus Denver. 7,600 is the cheapest he's been and probably this is probably the third full year.
Yeah.
He's got to click some
The
point.
worst he's looked in his third full year.
This is true. David Montgomery at Chicago, he was 6,400.
Okay. I'm surprised DeMont's still that low actually too. That's not bad for him.
Yeah, Jahmyr Gibbs was actually more than Demont, which
He's been for
that
like
shouldn't be the case.
3 weeks, like 3 weeks straight or 4 weeks straight.
Yeah.
So that's the injury. I think it's been 3 weeks, right? And I think he's been more expensive than DeMont every week.
Yeah. That goes back to the draft. That's the expectations of Jahmyr Gibbs still holding over here. All right. I went Eckler as well for 7,600, and same as Mahomes, kind of. The talent's there. Eventually he's going to break out. And Denver, I know it's skewed, but they're still 32nd ranked against the run. I know it's a little skewed because of that Miami game, but still, they still haven't climbed on that, and they've been good everywhere else though. And I also went Jerome Ford because, like I said earlier, he was only 5,500, but like I said earlier, he can go to the house anytime during the game. So I like that as well for 5,500. Mike, your wide receivers.
All right, wide receivers, I had to save a bit because I have Lamar, CMC, and Bijan above it. So I got Rashee Rice is my most expensive wide receiver against Buffalo, 5,400. I got JSN against San Fran. He had 11 targets last week. I think Seattle's going to have to throw the ball again. He's only 4,100, so I'm taking the chance there. And then I got Zay Jones. Like I said, he could have a good game. That's all I ever said, is that he was going to have a good game. And he's only 3,700, so pretty cheap.
Quite possibly the best single game a receiver will ever have by Zay Jones this week.
One game Hall of Fame career was what we're going to call him.
Yep.
All right.
These clips are going to be great if he actually has like 20 catches for 200 yards somehow.
I hope so.
I double dipped in the Seattle San Fran game. I took DK Metcalf for 6,700 and Debo. So I'm going to keep both of them staying hot. Debo was 6,800. And then I saved. At this point, I'm basically out of money because I did this quick. I took my boy Khalil Shakur at KC for 3,900.
Oh, wow. Okay. I went cheap on receivers as well because I went expensive elsewhere. So Rashee Rice was also my most expensive guy, but I wanted to stack him with Mahomes. So I went Rashee Rice for 5,400. I went Elijah Moore, Mike's boy, for 4,500.
Joe Flacco.
Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco seems to like more. So I like that.
He does.
And is Amari Cooper playing this week? Wasn't he banged up?
Yeah, I think
he didn't play like the second half of last week. So
okay.
So
that's still unsure on a Wednesday night. And then I went Odell Beckham for 3,800, which, I know he's not what he used to be, but for that price, I liked it a lot. And I think he's still going to get a lot of targets from Lamar. Mike, tight end.
Well, wasn't the last time we were going to talk about him earlier?
Oh, no.
Obviously, if he's my padlock and he's my 6-pointer, I gotta say I likely had 3,500 as my tight end. I won't say anything else.
Okay. Andy, tight end.
Cole Kmet. Stacked him with Fields. As I said, at home versus Chicago, 4,300.
All right. I went George Kittle for 5,900. As I said earlier, I try to get him on my teams. I like to root for that guy. And he's another guy you just never know. He can always break one for a long touchdown. Mike, flex.
I went Josh Jacobs at 20 touches last week. He looked good with them. I think he could do the same this week. 6,900. It's pretty cheap for Josh.
Yeah, not bad. Who's your flex, Andy?
As I said, I was running out of money. I got Drake London at home versus Tampa Bay, 4,600. Talents there. Quarterback and coach are not.
Didn't you pick who was it over Drake London?
No, I stayed away
from
Jaden Reed and Drake London.
Yeah, that was your stay away.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You stayed away. That's right. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. My flex, I went Calvin Ridley with Christian Kirk out. I know he's against Cleveland, which is a really tough matchup. But I still think they're going to try to feed him with Kirk out. I don't know who's the quarterback.
CJ
Beathard. Yeah. So it's iffy, but they should look his way. Who's your defense, Mike?
Well, CJ Beathard is the reason why I have Cleveland defense for 3,000 against Jacksonville.
Andy?
If I had $100 more, I would also have them, but I didn't. So for 2,900, I got the Jets defense, who just will not fucking stop trying, versus.
So after I said all that about Calvin Ridley, I also went with the Browns D though. For 3,000, I love that price with Trevor Lawrence being out and Christian Kirk being out. I
even
like the Browns in that.
Even if somehow Trevor Lawrence gets out there and plays, he's not going to move. Like
I get away from Myles Garrett.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like his only thing would be like a 1-2 step and then throw it. And besides that, he would go down automatically, but there's no way he plays with a high ankle sprain.
No,
they got to give him the week off.
Yep. Agreed. All right, boys. Well, that's the show. Mike, you have anything else to say?
No, that was a good episode. I think we kept it under an hour, right?
Just under an hour. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. We went a little off the rails there for a little while, but that was fun.
Nah, that's all right.
All right, boys. So for Mike and Andy, I'm Doug. We'll see you guys next time. Later.
Peace.